Hello.
Hey, that's me.
And welcome to the last video this company will ever make. Our sponsors are, do we have sponsors? No. What did we say last time? When there's no sponsors, day 5, season 2 comes out August 6th. So that's our sponsor for today.
Oh.
We've been doing experimental podcasts.
Yeah. Where
last week we did a one-on-one with Mr. Gavin Free. I sat down with Gavin. And then this week,
you caught me off guard.
Beloved personality.
I've been coming up with excuses for 6 years, and you finally caught me off guard, and I was like,
What was it?
What was what?
What was it that made it work? Just you weren't paying attention?
I just wasn't paying attention.
I didn't make like a specific play or anything like that?
You texted me something nice, and I said thanks, and then I said affirmative to something else in the conversation, and I didn't realize you had snuck a podcast ask in there as well.
Man. Yeah.
And then I felt like I can't say no.
I had you on a roll of responses. It's like you were responding one thing after another, and then just went in for the kill.
Broke my streak.
Well, it had to end at some point, right?
I guess.
Well, you've been on Off Topic. You have your own podcast.
Not very often.
What's that?
I try not to be on it very often.
Why? Okay.
I like to. I don't like to listen to me. I don't know why anybody else would, but I don't. Not enough shit happens from week to week in my life to talk about on a podcast.
No, it is. You have to build up a lot of life experience.
And if I'm recording for 15 hours a week in fucking Let's Plays anyway, whatever small thing happens to me at a fucking fast food restaurant or when I get my dick stuck in something, whatever, I've already covered it like 2 or 3 times by the time the podcast comes out. So I just feel like I'm taking up space when I'm on a podcast 2 or 3 weeks in a row. So I try to do it like every 3 to 5 weeks.
That's it. 3 to 5 weeks.
That's my goal. Yeah.
Build something up.
The off-topic podcast, yeah.
Yeah, it's like...
and then I have a new rule, too, because that fucking podcast goes for like a year and a half.
What is
It's like a stamina thing.
You should watch. Have you ever seen The Crew after you guys finished that podcast?
No.
They look fucking miserable.
Yeah, well...
Fucking miserable.
I look miserable about an hour and 45 minutes in, so I have a new rule where as soon as I'm out of juice, like I'm bored or like I run out of stuff to say or like I just have hit the Michael wall or whatever it is, I just eject. And I'm just like, all right, I'm bored. I walk in and I just walk out mid-podcast.
I noticed that last week because I came in with the cheddar biscuits and you were there, and then I came back later to get another one and you were like long gone.
Yeah, no, I went back to my office to answer emails.
Call that Irish exit. Is that how you do it?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's like...
I literally go, all right, I'm bored now, and then I leave.
No, that's the Irish exit is where you're at a party and you're like, I've done enough here. My job here is done. And then you just scoot.
You take the whiskey and you go.
You're like Scaramucci. You're just like, I'm done. You don't tell anybody. It's actually, a lot of people kind of prefer it to make an Irish exit. I'm sure it's racist, but Irish people are white, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Those are my people.
You're probably part Irish, right? So you can say it.
I'm probably part Irish. Yeah, I am definitely. My dad's side, I'm like almost entirely Irish. I was going to go to Notre Dame my whole life and then got in and we couldn't afford it. So came to UT.
It's just like how I'm from Alabama, so I can say stuff like, redneck, please. Nobody can say no.
So the other thing, too, I was thinking about is that we worked together 12 hours a day? In the early years.
We're going back.
In the early years, maybe 18 hours.
7 a.m. to
2 a.m.
2 a.m.
Sometimes.
every day.
Yeah.
3 or 4. Well, maybe not every day, but probably 5 days a week. Yeah.
It is entirely possible, and you might be the only person in my life who's like this. It is entirely possible that I have had every conversation with you.
Yes.
Like every possible...
You think I stopped coming on the fucking podcast?
I know, that's what I'm saying. Is like we have had every possible conversation at this point.
Yeah. If we were married, we would have to get divorced
don't tease.
Just because we would just be out. It'd be that like old couple that just sits and like fucking eats dinner at Golden Corral and just has fucking nothing to say.
What used to be like the newspaper at breakfast, and that's all you'd get. Well, I did actually, last week, I did say something that I didn't know was new information. So I started talking about it. I started talking about the post show, and it kind of blew up. And listen, before we talk about this...
Hey, hold on just a second.
Shut up! There you go.
Fuck. No
I love it.
Respect around here.
We should have him on to patrol the podcast more often. I had to yell at those people like one time. I fucking blew my voice out yelling at those fuckers.
It's disgusting.
What could possibly be
lack
that
of respect?
fun
What is so fucking what's so funny? What's so goddamn important over by the fucking Funyuns that you gotta make all the noise in the world for? Christ.
But last week on the post show, I made a reference to the time that Jack Patillo got fired. And so
the first time he got fired, we like to say.
Yeah, the first time he got fired. So Jack wanted to write a journal entry about it. I said, listen, we said it on the podcast. Why don't you come talk about it on the podcast? I think it's always weird to address something in a different format that it initially came up, because then people just don't see it or whatever.
Also, can I further preface this by saying this is such a non-event?
Yeah, that's the thing too. It's like for some people it's going to be probably new information, but for us, this is 9 years old.
Yeah,
and
counting. Yeah.
It's like Jack is one of the most important people at the company. Created Extra Life, does all our charitable work. Obviously, a huge part of Achievement Hunter in starting that. Kissing your ass here a little bit.
Thank you.
But it's like we wouldn't bring up something and joke about it if there was actually a problem. But there was a problem way, way, way back, and it was when Achievement Hunter very first started.
Best hugger in Rooster Teeth. I want to throw that in as well.
Are you?
According to
good.
not Fibbage. What game is that? I don't know. Yes.
You're a nice guy.
According to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is.
I like your wife better than you. I'm just going to throw that out there.
I totally
Everybody
understand.
does.
Yeah. 100% understand that. Yeah, this is something.
And your dad.
Bernie, you thought this was like kind of out there already. I think less than 10 people know the story behind this.
But we would talk about like your porn career and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
I mean, I talked about going to L.A. Never said
We
why.
just never talked about why you went to LA.
Yeah.
Well, do you just want to, because there's like fucking people are talking about it. You're getting hit up on social.
Right.
It's annoying you.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
This
So-
is so far in the past for you.
Yeah, please don't let us steal your thunder. Please tell us the story about the time
Okay,
you
so
tried
I was
to blow
sitting at my
Gus.
desk yesterday, and all of a sudden my Twitter started blowing up, and it was like, "Hey, how come you got fired? How do you almost destroy Rooster Teeth?" And I'm like, "Wait, what?" And then I had to figure out what happened, and then I traced it back to Bernie talking about me getting
Bernie's
fired.
big dumb mouth.
Yeah,
And,
a lot
so
of
what
things
happened
get traced back
about-
to that?
We're about less than a year into Achievement Hunter, I would say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
it
were
was
like
new.
4 or 5 months in.
I'd say closer to like 9 months in. But anyway,
You can say whatever you want.
I was
job for a
working
while.
on Achievement Hunter stuff. It was just Jeff and I at that point, and we had been working with companies out there, and we had received like for one of the earliest times ever, we received some stuff.
Probably one of the
early.
first times ever.
Yeah, we got early access to
Some software.
And it was on a piece of hardware that I had in my possession. And so at that point, I was still working at home every now and then. I would bring it up to the office kind of back and forth.
Well, I'd like to point out, this was a time in Achievement Hunter where we all shared computers, and you and I would have to wait until people were done producing Red versus Blue or GameStop commercials or whatever it was. Like, this was very much, Achievement Hunter was a nights and weekends type production, and we would literally have to borrow computers when other people weren't using them. Like, it was a time when everybody in the company didn't have a computer. We had production computers.
Yeah, I think
and so
I was using Matt's machine initially.
it was oftentimes easier for you to go home and film at home at your setup there than to ask Nathan, please don't animate that thing for episode 92 because Jack needs to make a guide in Dead Space.
I want to jump in here a little bit.
Go
So
ahead.
there was a discussion. This piece of hardware was going to change locations, and it wasn't an actual discussion. And this is where I was part of it, and I was like, I wasn't super happy about it, but I was like, okay, go ahead and let's change locations for this piece of hardware.
Yeah. And so, and I should point out too, this was like literally, it was the main 5, Nathan and me. That was it. There were 7 of us in that office at that point. That was pre-Brandon,
When you
pre-Monty.
say main 5, you mean Joel or Jason? That was Joel.
That was Joel.
Yeah.
Joel.
Was Joel?
I was there when
Okay.
Jason was there. Anyway, so I had it with me in my car. And I actually went and saw a movie that night.
What was the movie?
Yeah, please. By all
The
means.
movie was the darkest movie I've ever seen in my life. I can't remember what it was. I honestly forget what it was. It was something at the Draft House downtown.
Yeah.
And
Are you getting anxiety even talking about
I'm a little
this?
bit,
I
yeah.
get anxiety
A
talking
little bit.
about it.
And
Yeah.
so anyway, towards the end of the movie, my father starts calling me, and I'm like, "That's weird." Okay, and then he keeps calling over and over again. So I grab my phone and go out, and he's like, "Hey, the police are next to your car. You need to get over there right now." I'm like, "Oh God!" And so I leave. I like run up the street, and sure enough, the driver's side window of my car had been shattered, and the bag that had the hardware in it was not there anymore.
Right.
And that was just like,
That's a piece of new information for me, by the way. I didn't know it was in a bag.
okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so anyway, and so my heart's sinking. I'm just like, oh my God. Because I'm not an employee of Rooster Teeth at this point. I'm just like part-time, like just doing contract work.
Yep.
I was not full-time at all or anything. And so I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I think I called Bernie first.
Bernie was in a movie.
I can tell you, I was at Milk.
Bernie and
Okay.
I think Gavin and Griffin were seeing a movie together because Gavin
Ross
was here for the
with
summer.
me. My buddy Ross. It was really weird. Yeah.
And
Okay.
Gavin was here for the summer.
Because I remember
Yeah.
making 2, maybe 3
That's how it came up,
calls.
by the way, because we were referencing when Gav was here for the summer, and he said that was the time Jack got fired or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And so anyway, so I called Jeff and I called Bernie. I don't know. I forget the order.
You got me.
And I remember I said what had happened, and you were like, "Are you kidding me?" Like you thought it was a joke, and then I said I wasn't, and I could hear your face drop.
Yeah.
And then I remember it was cold. It was winter because it was freezing cold, and I was driving home with no driver's side window, just like shaking with like, "Oh my God, what have I done?" And then I called. Then I think you told me to call Bernie, and I called Bernie, and then same deal, and I was like, "Oh my God, oh my God." And then I think I called you back. I forget the sort of chain of events is blurry there. And then I basically got home and I was like, well, fuck. All right. I don't think I'll ever work for Rooster Teeth. And so, yeah. And then that's where you guys would step in. Because at this point, I was just like, I don't know what to do. Because I had pretty much, it was
Well,
bad.
we embarked on a month-long adventure.
Yeah, Gavin would actually like to tell a story. Like, I lived in dumpsters trying to find this thing. Pawn shops and cops, constantly calling the cops.
Kicking it, going into like drug dens.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was like kicking down doors and
I was hitting
paying
up
off homeless
eBay, and I was
people
hitting up like Craigslist, seeing if anything popped up. And
went to every pawn shop in Austin.
Yep.
Well, obviously, this was a big deal, right? And it was
Very
At the
big
time.
No, it's still a big deal.
Still
I mean,
big.
I can say, I'm going to say, first of all, that the way we handle this stuff now is, we're a big company. We have better procedures for those kinds of things, way better security. It was just a collection of things that we did wrong. You know what I mean? And the thing that I really focused on you was stopping with it in the car when we had such a big discussion about it. That's where you and I kind of fell off. And the hard part for me was having to call the developer, and tell them that this had happened. And it's like a month before this piece of software comes out. And it's like, I mean, you could pretty much write, like, we knew that it was going to be like headlines or this thing was going to get leaked and, or something like that. And we like scoured piracy sites for like 30 days. It was like all we did for a month is
The company shut down.
We just beat ourselves up about this. Nothing ever happened. Even the developer, to their credit, was like, this kind of stuff happens.
They didn't. I want to say they didn't give a shit.
No,
but they were like, oh, thanks for letting us know.
Yeah,
this is something we deal with.
It was one of those things. We're such a small company where I was on the phone. I remember everyone was around me and like waiting, because they couldn't hear it. And then I hung up. I was like, I guess we're okay. They're not furious with us, and gonna throw us under the bus, for this thing. So, it was. Then it was 30 days. The software came out. Nothing ever came of it, but we still didn't talk about it because we just felt like fucking idiots about it and felt terrible about it.
Yeah, I mean, that was the darkest time in my life. Like, because I mean, thankfully, thank God, nothing happened. But it's like, oh, I could have been responsible for incredibly horrible things. And I was like, well, I'm never going to work for Rooster Teeth. And so I moved to Los Angeles. I was like, all right, well, this, that I'm not going to be able to get a job there. And that was the only company I want to work for in Austin. I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and leave and see what I can do in LA.
Started your porn career.
And I started my porn career. And that started going okay. And then I was just on the side. I started doing other stuff. I started doing like, I made a map that Geoff spotted. And you got a hold of me. And I was very, very shocking. So.
Well, yeah, we had talked about it too, where it was like, did we overreact? Because all the people that were in the industry didn't and we're used to it telling us it's like this kind of thing happens, police reports, all that stuff. You guys,
you did due diligence.
You guys didn't commit the crime. I tell this to my kids too. It's like JD especially is so rules oriented, and I said, look, dude, there's so many people that are trying to break the rules. Don't worry that you're misinterpreting the rules and going to get in trouble for doing something wrong. It's like there are people who are actively trying to break the rules, and that was us, and it was a crime. And I think that's what brought me back around to center. Was I was like, here's this guy. It's like, yeah, he made a mistake, but it wasn't his. He was a victim of a crime. It just happened to impact a lot of us as well. And I don't think we never even had a conversation like you're out of here or anything like that.
No. I think honestly, Bernie, I think I talked to you that night.
Yeah.
I don't think I talked to you again for 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the last time I actually spoke to you until I was back in the office.
Yeah.
And so, because I went out to LA. And I was out there for almost 6 months, and then I drove back. And then October of 2009 is when I started helping out Joel with stuff and doing achievement hunter stuff. And then December 1st, 2009 was when you guys offered me full time.
Yeah.
And so that was basically from roughly like March, April of 2009 until September.
They call it failing forward.
Yeah. Well, we get like a lot of credit. You're a small company and we're doing all this crazy stuff. And like, oh, look, it's, Wild West, and they're doing all the stuff that nobody else is doing, and it's crazy times. And we look at the back of that positively. But then it's like there was stupid shit where we fucked up, and that was an instance where we fucked up, that could have totally derailed us.
Yeah.
That could have really totally derailed us. Honestly, as early as Achievement Hunter was, I remember having conversations with you. It was like, dude, I think we both believe in the potential of this thing. I just don't know if it's worth it to risk everything else, that we've done.
Yeah.
And we've had those conversations.
Yep. And so it was super shitty.
Yeah.
That's what it came down to.
So listen, I'm sorry that I randomly just brought it up.
Oh, no, it's okay. Like, honestly, this was one of those things where it's like, all right, I guess that will never be discussed, because it was a very, it was a hugely negative point in my life where I was like, oh my God, I could have just tanked a bunch of my new friends. Because at this point, I'd only been working with you guys less than a year, I would say. I started doing Forced Enjoyment. That was pre-Achievement Hunter.
Yeah.
And I pitched you guys some contract work, and he brought me in, and then that eventually, then Geoff pitched the idea of Achievement Hunter to me, and that was
at Red House Pizza.
Yeah, Red House Pizza's not there anymore, but that was like probably March or April of 2008 when you pitched me the idea, and we had it up and running in July 2008.
You're so much better with dates than I am. I couldn't even told you the
Well,
year.
a lot of it's documented in the first podcasts, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's like, because we launched the podcast and we did some red versus blue PSAs to like get Achievement Hunter going.
Yeah, the Achievables PSA. That was the first piece of content we put out on Achievement Hunter. That was the 27th of July 2008. And then 28th was the first when we put up Burnout Paradise, which was the first video, the first Achievement Hunter video.
It's crazy. We should talk about this, Geoff, because I'm going to talk about like the Rooster channel versus the Achievement Hunter channel.
Sure.
But it's crazy to think. One of the reasons why this was also a big deal is like this was like year 7 or 8 of the company.
Gavin was here because we were making season 7 of RVB.
He was directing season 7.
So that would have been not reconstruction, recreation.
Yep. And it was like, we were trying to get other stuff going. It's like we went for 7 years with one show.
Yeah.
And it's like here we had this thing that we believed and had, big potential. And it's like this misstep. And it's like, oh, fuck. Are we going to be back to one show doing this thing?
Yeah. Because the podcast was still in its infancy at that point, too.
And then Geoff deleted 100 videos.
Yeah.
And then you got credit for it.
Yeah, I got credit for deleting.
It's always been me.
Yeah. That was because we've talked about that before. Where, I was in the room with you when you did it.
YouTube, to my credit, I helped YouTube change that.
That's true.
They fixed that after me.
Yeah. So that was Geoff basically. Initially, back in the day, YouTube had all the list of all the most. It was 100 videos on your My Videos channel, a tab, and there was a box where you could check it and like, oh, I want to delete this video. You hit the one above the top one, the most recent one, which selected everything, and then just deleted everything.
And this was back in the days when we were at Ablanedo, so it wasn't as bad. Like I think of our worst days being in the downtown office, as far as the downtown office and before, in terms of hours and exhaustion and work and like living. Like I remember season 6, Matt didn't go home, I think, for like 3 weeks at one point. He was just like living on the sofa, and he smelled. And
remember what we started doing? Like season 8 with Monty, we got a hotel room across the street. We just trade off, like rotate through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember I was just exhausted, and I just was tired, and my brain just wasn't working because I was so tired, and I did that.
Do you remember what video you deleted? That was like, oh, damn it.
The Connectimals video.
It was the Connectimals one, and I think it was the Rage Quit Impossible game.
Yeah.
That was a million view video. You deleted a million view video, and at the time, that was a unicorn.
A big deal, yeah.
So
I remember those early days of Achievement Hunter. It was like we ran an experiment where you guys put Achievement Hunter videos, because you guys could produce 3 videos a day. Mm-hmm. We ran the same problem when the no was RT News. All of a sudden, you looked at our channel, and it looked like that's all it was, because they could produce so many videos. And I remember you guys did an experiment where if you put a video up on the Rooster channel, it got 80,000 views, I think, and if you put it on your own channel, it got 40,000 views. Just shows how much things have changed, especially for Achievement Hunter in that time, right? Yeah.
But anyway, I'm very, very happy to be here still. Thank you for giving me a second chance.
Thanks for making the Shadow Complex map and sharing it with me, because that's why you work here.
Absolutely.
And then and thanks for saving all those kids from cancer.
Yes.
You are 100% responsible. All those kids are alive because of you.
November 11th this year, we're doing Extra Life again, and we're going for $1 million. That's crazy, $1 million.
Crazy.
Anyway,
how much money have we raised for Extra Life all total? Do you know?
Over $3 million.
Jesus Christ!
I think over the past 6 times we've done it. Five big ones, and then you and I did that one in 636. Or we did that one in the Achievement Hunter office back in the day. That was the very first one we did. Remember that 24 hours we sat and destroyed our backs?
We camped out. And we had a lot.
I think we raised like $25,000 that day.
I heard cool thing in regards to that. I don't know if that's public yet.
It's not public.
Okay. I always that's the problem on the podcast.
Yeah.
I know about stuff. So all right, cool. We'll tune in for Extra Life. Jack, I'm also glad that it worked out.
Absolutely. I'm very happy. Thank you very much, Bernie, for bringing me back. And Geoff, thank you for believing in me.
I love you with all my heart.
I love you too, Geoff.
It's been an absolute pleasure to work with you.
Oh, thank you very much. You're my
And
brother.
I wish you best of luck in the future.
All right. Well, it was good working here. Bye, everyone. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, drive right home, Jack. Don't stop anywhere. Just go straight home. I have to say though too is like it was a big deal, and I want to defend the action of like letting people go or deciding you're not going to work with them anymore. You got to do that. You've got to if people make big mistakes, you've got to be able to do that. And it's like I think any company, the bigger it actually gets really hard for people to get fired, and it shouldn't be that hard. I don't think.
So you probably don't know this, but you gave me. What happened? People
I got new information.
Yeah. You gave me when I worked at Telenetwork. I was a team leader.
Yeah.
You were the vice president. I was struggling with my first fire. I had to fire somebody, and I'm super empathic.
And I don't think a lot of people have dealt with that side of it. It's hard.
Yeah, and I was asking you for tips and pointers. I had worked with this guy a lot to try to save him as an employee. And in my head, it's like I'm taking food out of his mouth, and I'm taking away his ability to pay his rent, and it's incredibly stressful. And and I feel as his manager that I failed, and it makes me want to try over and over again. This is me at 26 years old. And I was really struggling with firing this kid, and I asked you for tips because I'd seen you fire a bunch of people, and you told me something that I will never forget for the rest of my life. And you probably have no memory of doing this. You told me that. I wasn't firing him; he was firing himself.
Okay.
And that if it got to where it was, and I had done everything that was in the rule book, that I'd gone down the checklist of things to do, then I wasn't taking anything away from him. He was making the decision himself, and I was just delivering the news, essentially.
Yeah.
And totally changed my perspective. Fired so many people after that, and I felt totally fine. Probably fired 25 people after that.
He went on a rampage.
Yeah, and I was like Dale Gribble in that episode of King of the Hill, where they bring him in just to fire people.
Get the hell out. You're like Trump, basically.
Yeah,
with your press coordinators. What is that position that he just keeps rotating people through at this point? White House spokesperson?
Yeah. Or well, there's spokesperson, then like the head of public relations or whatever.
At what point do you think one of us will have that job? I think it's like they go through enough people, it'll get to us.
There's only 330 million people in America. So.
And he's going to be reelected.
At this rate, you're 3.
So we'll find out. Yeah, but it's like I also feel though about firing too is it's always super shitty, but at the same time you're also doing them a favor. Like if they're bad in this job, there's nothing worse than being bad at a job. And I think that's something that's like you and I especially, Gus as well, we worked for a long time. We worked in careers that were not entertainment based or anything. So like literally every day we get to do this, at least for me, is I hope maintain that perspective. It's like just having this job where it's like I get to do what I want to do, this hobby that turned into a career, that's never, ever, ever lost on me.
I don't think, and there people will joke about the time when it looked like I wanted to kill myself every day and it looked so miserable being here, but yeah, no, it's a perspective that I don't think I can ever lose. Because working at Telenetwork with you guys was my second career. I was in the Army before that.
That's true.
For 5 years. And then I did 5.5 years at TNI managing a tech support company that I didn't give a shit about. I no offense to that. Tech support was not my passion.
Well, let me ask you about that because you say that. Because I have very fond memories of Telenetwork.
I have fond memories of
hard job.
Hard job.
Yeah.
It's not like I was passionate about fixing people's computers.
Yeah.
Or managing other people fix people's computers. But I love the people I worked with.
And we learned a job's
a job.
We learned a ton about business too.
Learned a ton about business.
The guy who owned and ran the company was unbelievably giving in terms of the responsibility he would hand down to younger people. Like he had a lot of faith. We could identify people. I mean, he took one look at you, was like, he's got a lot of tattoos. He's an old school guy. But I was very appreciative of that. And it always frustrates me when people talk about their old jobs. Like the moment somebody leaves the company, if they were like there 10 years, they just start talking shit about it. It's like it was a positive experience.
And we used to deal with that all the time when we'd have friends that would leave. And then I'd stop hanging out with them because all they'd want to do is hang out at a casino or at some bar and bitch about working there. So, you don't work there anymore. You're on to your new job. Bitch about that job. And B, it wasn't so bad.
No. Yeah, it's really weird.
It's fucking, you ate every month.
Yeah.
You paid your bills. There's gas in the tank.
It's a weird thing.
Digging ditches.
It's a weird thing that I think like people go through in their mid-20s or, when they go on careers. Not you guys. You guys don't have jobs. None of the mid-20s do now. And but it's a weird thing where people just get like, oddly competitive and passive aggressive about stuff. And I always hated that.
Yeah.
I always hated it. You know what I mean? But it's like that anywhere. You know, it's like that anywhere. You leave a job. I mean, how many people like talk like really positively about their last job? You know, I mean, it's like it's just not a normal thing.
But you don't leave it when you like it, I guess.
Jeff, something's bugging the shit out of me. Blanchard is sitting over there, and I don't know why.
I don't know why he's here either.
So
I'm just the seat filler.
So why are you sitting there though?
I got an email with a calendar invite for 4:30 to 6:30, and all I know is I'm here.
What does the calendar invite say?
Just sit in this seat where Patrick sat last week.
Really?
All right, well, you're doing a
Yes.
great job.
Yeah, well, fucking keep up the great work, dude.
Thank you. Yeah,
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
So you're fitting in well?
Yeah.
Are you the last person from the internet box that we're gonna hire? I hope.
I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think we've hired all of you, have we? At this point?
No, there's still
Sorry,
two left.
Dylon. Sorry, Mike.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
Mike
sorry,
Kroon. Yeah, Mike
sorry.
Kroon, Dylon.
No, I wasn't calling anybody out. I
Yeah,
just didn't know.
there's still two left.
I
But
was,
yeah, when we started, there was nobody was employed full time.
What do you do? What does he do now?
Andy?
Yeah.
I have no clue.
What do you do?
He works for Trevor.
I work for Trevor. I do some edits, and occasionally I'm on the spot like every 3 fucking weeks. And
You're like Jeff.
yeah,
Build up
Yeah.
life experience. Is that why you do
yeah,
it?
yeah, and occasional Let's Play or two. So that's about
Well, it
it.
sounds like money well spent on all.
Yeah,
Is Trevor a good boss?
yeah, he's not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah, he's not bad.
Go ahead.
And Lindsay was before him, so
Don't be too glowing with your praise.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, you don't want to look like you're buttering him up for a raise
chill,
or anything.
chill. It's good.
It's like, it's whatever.
It's good. I like
Did
it.
you miss the part where Jack got fired? Did you miss that?
I was there.
It happened like that.
Yeah, I
buddy.
know.
You don't even know.
I hear it's a lot easier to get fired now than it was back then. So
Hey, is your prequel stuff where you talk about the Star Wars prequels?
the prequel memes?
Yeah, the 1 through 3. Is
Yeah.
that ironic?
No, I genuinely enjoy them.
You really?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I
What-
grew up with
what-
them. I'm
You're a
like
fucking idiot.
I was born in 92, 99. I was 7, so they're
It's a good
they're
point.
not bad movies.
It's a good point. They're
not
kids'
not
movies.
great Star Wars movies, but they're not bad movies.
What do you mean they're not? What do you mean? How can they be if they're Star Wars movies, but they're not good Star Wars
But
movies?
they're not
how
bad
can they be
movies.
good
Like
movies?
there's worse movies than them. They're not bad movies.
Yeah, of course
They're
there are worse movies.
but they're just not on par as the original trilogy. Like how could
That's like saying World War II wasn't a good war for Germany, but it was a good war.
It was a good
yeah,
war.
we won.
Solid.
So it wasn't. They're not bad movies. Three is generally good. 2 is trash. 1 has moments.
I don't recall
No.
that 2 and 3 are separate movies. It all just blends together to me.
1 is trash. 2 and 3 are more
no,
acceptable.
Hayden Christensen in 2 is awful.
Well,
really?
yeah, did you see anybody in 1?
You know,
Yeah,
Jake
Jake
Lloyd is now
Lloyd.
schizophrenic.
Didn't he get in jail or like in a home or
I
some
think
shit?
No,
I think
he's,
got institutionalized.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's institutionalized.
That's what Star Wars
That's
will do to
sad,
you.
dude. That's fucking sad.
George Lucas ruined his childhood. Didn't ruin my childhood. I liked them.
You know that George Lucas is on record as saying the reason why he sold to Disney was the internet.
The criticism.
That between the first
What a
like
bitch.
2 sets of trilogies, that the internet came about, and then he's like, "Oh, everyone hates my fucking movies. I thought everybody loved my movies." And he was just like, I'm done with this, basically.
So if George Lucas never read the comments, he'd still be making Star Wars.
Don't read the comments. That's
I'm
the rule.
glad he read the comments.
You have to admit, though, that if you were a time traveler looking back, or a historian looking back to the year 2002 and reading comments about Star Wars, you would assume it's the most reviled film franchise in the history of the world.
For sure.
Even the people who love it talk about it like it's fucking garbage. And they get upset about
They're
everything.
not perfect.
Kylo Ren's bullshit. I just want to say.
Starkiller Base is bullshit. Hated that.
Did you?
I hated Starkiller.
You don't
Base.
like Kylo Ren?
It's too whiny. I just can't.
That's what Anakin
he's
should
not
have been.
Scary to me. Darth Vader's fucking scary.
Darth Vader is very scary.
Yeah.
Yeah?
He's fucking scary.
Kylo Ren was a better Anakin than Anakin was. Like Kylo Ren is what Anakin should have been. Like brooding. He's good.
Yeah. You watch like the Rebel series and all that stuff?
Yeah, I've seen everything.
Have you- listen,
I'm
this is
pretty
a
much
big
caught up
test
on
here.
everything canon.
Jeff, I don't even know if I want the answer to this question when I ask him. Andy, have you been to see the Emoji Movie?
I have not.
Okay, thank God.
No,
I saw your tweet. Your tweet's been making the rounds.
Fucking kid. Did you drug me to see? I had to go 10 kids to this fucking Emoji Movie.
10?
It's awful. It's just terrible. It's so terrible.
You've been,
It doesn't
you've
look
been
good.
busy since we last talked. I thought you only had 2.
What? That's the extended version of my family. No. So Jordan, my ex,
Yeah.
we have a great co-parenting relationship. She fucking threw me under the
Love
bus
her to
on
death.
this one.
Salt of the earth. Great woman.
Great woman. She was like, I was like, hey, they were going on vacation, and I was like, hey, I just like, if you guys are going to be gone for like a week, I just want to like, you know, can I get the kids like for 2 days this weekend? You know, I know it's like on the calendar or whatever, and we go back and forth, super fluid about that, and I always appreciate her for that. She fucked me over this time. She didn't tell me she'd fucking bought these tickets to the Emoji Movie, and every other parent in there, she'd agreed to do it. It took
Pulled a
them.
jacked on.
Dude, she like she got all the credit for doing it. All the other parents had to go see this garbage fucking movie, and then she just at the last minute just pulls a fucking Houdini and gets out of it and sticks it on me.
I would have given all those kids whiskey.
Do you watch Silicon Valley?
Nah.
It's one of the smartest shows on TV.
Okay.
It's a fucking great show. And TJ Miller.
Well, I don't want a show making me feel stupid.
No, it won't do that. Trust me. These are idiot. You'd like it. It's like idiot savants, nerds, you know?
I saw that TJ Miller dude at a party a couple weeks ago, and he didn't look happy. He just looked like kind of a sad dude.
Really?
Yeah.
He just made the Emoji Movie.
Well, he quit fucking Silicon Valley, and in all the interviews where he's talking about quitting Silicon Valley, one of the smartest shows on TV, he's talking about he wants to do more stuff like the Emoji Movie and parasail into the Cannes Film
Oh, and he
Festival.
quit the show? Didn't like take like a hiatus from it? Or,
No!
like,
Now he quit.
like,
No.
I'm done.
It was weird. I read some of those interviews
Whoops.
It was weird.
too. I saw a stand-up.
He's
a couple
also
years ago.
Deadpool.
It was pretty good.
He's a funny dude.
Yeah, he seemed like a funny guy.
I think the first time I ever saw him, he's in this Nathan Barnett video, that dance video. It's weird. It's a weird like connection. We talked about
Nathan Barnett.
It's almost like saying the name of the devil because I think he shows up. Like we mentioned him on the podcast, and then he crashed our PAX panel in his underwear.
Oh, is that asshole with the headband?
Yeah, the bald,
skinny
he's balder
dude?
guy. Yeah,
I don't like him.
he almost looks like a goofier version of Nathan Zellner a little bit. I don't know
Yeah,
how
like
to put
if
it.
Nathan Zellner had a low T cell count.
It's like a combination between Nathan and who's the dude from Trevor from Grand Theft Auto?
Oh yeah,
Is it Trevor?
What is his name in real life?
Oh, the actor? I don't know.
What's the name of the character?
I don't know.
Trevor.
I wasn't prepared.
Trevor's his name.
Trevor in the game.
You
Yeah.
work in the fucking video game department. They play GTA What are you editing over there?
I don't edit.
We don't
GTA.
let
That's
him
a-
edit
That's a
the good
Neil
stuff.
edit.
Good
Yeah,
call.
no.
He
I don't
edits
do a
the
lot of
real-
multicams.
I'm not trying to say that Andy's slow, but he edits the simple stuff.
Does he
Yeah,
really?
that's
Yeah.
honestly true. I do the
Single
Let's
screen,
Watches. Yeah.
Not a lot. Did put a head and a tail on it.
Let's
check it
watch.
out.
That's what he's editing
Yeah,
over there?
And then I watch it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
I do
Brilliant.
some edits though.
Yeah, but this so weird connection. It's weird how things come back over time. They crashed our panel in their underwear. Do you remember that?
I remember that. I was there for that.
Would have
yeah.
been totally fine, but then they were like kind of bad at it.
Yeah.
They weren't. There was no give and take. They just wanted to take over our panel. It's like then we were like, just kind of get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
That was Screw Attack,
Figures.
right? It's so weird how that comes back around. Those were the Screw Attack guys in there because he was like a Screw Attack guy at the time.
I forgot. Yeah, that's right.
So that was like our first exposure to Screw Attack too.
That's why I hate Screw Attack.
Also,
That's
Trevor is Stephen Ogg.
Stephen Ogg, that's his name. Thank you.
That's his name.
That dude's fucking
I just read the
ripped.
character. So
That motherfucker's blowing up. He's in
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead?
He was in
He
Better
was-
Call Saul.
Yep.
He's in GTA. He's in another big property too.
Yeah, he's been really blowing up ever since GTA.
He's
I
he's-
feel like I've never really seen an actor get like a really big break from like a video game.
He's
and
ogged
then
out.
he's like, now he's on the map.
yeah, I'm always waiting for like Troy Baker or somebody like that to start showing up in a ton of stuff, or Nolan North.
I
Yeah.
can see Nolan North being in things.
Or Travis Willingham. That's
Yeah.
a good looking dude.
Yep.
I mean, he's married. I'm not trying to fuck him or anything, but he's a good looking dude.
Listen, let it all out, dude. Come on, you don't know.
Yeah.
You-
I don't know
listen,
how happy they are.
You never
Maybe
know.
he's-
You never know until you try, right?
there
Got to
you
put
go.
things out there. But I always like whenever I get out of here. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Yeah,
All
you're
right,
good.
see ya.
Whenever they talk about like they're going to make the
Give the shirt back to you. You don't keep that.
Uncharted movie or something like that, they always like everybody goes nuts and they're talking about like, oh, Nathan Fillion should
Yeah.
play. What's the name of the guy in Uncharted?
Nathan Drake.
Nathan Drake. And I fucking hate that character. Ashley has in Australia, all these fucking good looking dudes. Ashley has an ex-boyfriend who looks just like fucking Nathan Drake.
Oh, really?
He even wears the fucking scarf and everything.
Well, he must not have been so great, or he'd still have her, right?
Yeah, thanks for the shot in the arm, buddy. Or her fucking visa ran out. One of the two, one of the two things. But whenever they like bring up Uncharted and they're like, who's gonna play Nathan Drake? Ooh, it should be like Nathan Fillion would be great. And Nathan Fillion's on Twitter going, yeah, I'd love to play him. It's like Nolan North plays that character.
Yeah. How about the guy that plays him?
He's
Yeah.
why you like the fucking character. Put Nolan North in it. Nolan North is the guy who should be in it. It's a proven.
It's fucking.
Works.
It's nonsense.
Nonsense.
I agree.
Garbaggio.
Totally with you on that.
By the way, I learned something. We were out in L.A. This week. It's so weird.
Los Angeles, LA.
Los Angeles, L.A. Right.
Not to be confused with Lower Alabama.
That
they
is
say.
correct.
Yeah.
Do you really call it L.A.?
They do.
Or Louisiana?
No, they call it Louisiana.
No, in Texas we'd call it L.A. because we could go and drink in Louisiana because it was 18 years old drinking age there. Mexico was 0, but Louisiana was 18, so we'd go to L.A. and it was like a 2-hour drive to go there because
Same reason I drink in Louisiana.
Louisiana was just a garbage state.
It still is. I could say it. I fucking lived there for like 2 years.
You lived in Louisiana?
Yeah, 7th and 8th grade.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, in Covington, Louisiana. Drove right across the causeway from New Orleans.
Oh, that's a conversation we haven't had before. You live in Louisiana?
We've had that
So
conversation.
someone's going to probably like clip a podcast.
where we talk about it extensively.
Talk about it. One thing I'm always grateful for, too, you talk about these stories, is like you kind of tap out on your personal life. One thing I like about it is that occasionally, and more frequently, unfortunately, is I'll retell a story that I told like 4 or 5 years ago. And before I do it, I always ask the people on the podcast, hey, have I ever talked about this before? And everyone's like, no. They don't, because they don't fucking remember it. And then I tell the story, and then someone will put them back to back, but I tell the story the exact same way. And it's like, I'm glad I do that, because if it's like the facts were off or something like that, then I would have a problem.
No, I hear you.
You do the same thing?
I do the same thing. I also, I've learned the memory's is gone. It's not,
Really?
It's not going well.
You think it's
And
the
so I have
drinking?
to. Sometimes I will watch old videos so I can hear my old stories because I don't remember how to tell them now.
Oh, really?
Like I don't remember stuff. I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, and I was amazed at the names I couldn't remember from people that were like friends of mine. And I was like, "Fuck! I guess I am 42 because."
Are you? You're 42
gone.
now?
Yeah,
Gross.
I know it's the worst.
Terrible. Don't do it.
I went to the doctor this week for the first time in like 8 years.
Yeah.
Maybe. Fucking everything works.
That's good.
Yeah, like I was like, I
That can
figured
be a
I had.
dangerous thing.
I figured I had AIDS and cancer, and
You know what you
I
don't
figured
want?
my liver was gone.
You don't want
And
that antibiotic-resistant gonorrhea.
I don't have that.
That's going around.
I was 100% healthy the whole way. I was even like, if you want to do butt stuff or whatever, I'm in my 40s, like a colonoscopy or a prostate exam.
What did he say when you said that?
He was like, "No, you're good," and I was like, "Really?" I thought at like 40 I had to get a colonoscopy. He was like, "Didn't you have one in your 30s because you're diverticulitis?" And I was like, "Yeah," and he goes, "Yeah, you're fine."
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right."
So I had the same conversation when I turned 40 with the doctor, because my mom died of colon cancer.
Yeah, I remember.
And so I thought, I'm 40, I should get this done. He goes,
Yeah.
no, even with like, family history, 45 is when you want to do it. I go, yeah, but I'm just like, I think like I should get done. It's just like, I want to be like ahead of the curve on something like this, if I have to deal with it. And he's like, no, you're good. And I said, I really think I have it. Then I realized I'm like, he's getting uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to convince this guy to stick
put
shit up my
something
butt.
in me. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, thanks for making me feel like a shithead.
I will say the doctor went to town on my balls for a while, an uncomfortable amount, and I was like,
Why?
He was looking for fun. He said, no, he was looking for what is it? Yeah, hernias, I guess.
What?
He was like holding my balls,
testicular cancer's your 20s.
twisting them and coughing, and then there was it was a little long.
Where
on
the fuck
ball
did you
work.
find this doctor? Tinder? Is that how you met him?
Yeah. He said
We need Tinder for medical professionals.
he said he was a licensed dickologist.
So what was did you go like anticipating that? I want to say something too, because you've recently entered a period of sobriety. Is it
Yes.
fair to say this is a lifelong endeavor for
I
you?
hope so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's the plan.
I would like to think so, yeah.
See, it's interesting because having known you for now
20-ish years.
23 years. Yeah.
Since 1998.
I've lived in
We met
Austin. I've lived in
1998.
Austin for 25 fucking years. I
That's a
realized
long
that when I
time,
moved
dude.
to LA this year. It's like I moved here in 1990. 27 years, dude.
So I'm going to show you a picture. You guys don't get to see it, so fuck off.
It's dick.
So I
This is the
I
doctor
quit
feeling.
drinking for a myriad of reasons, right? And then I went to the doctor. I wanted to wait a while till shit got out of my system and like my body regulated before I went to the doctor to make sure my liver didn't fall out or anything.
It's like
And by the
cramming,
way-
cramming for a test.
And then the doctor's like, "Your liver's awesome.
Really?
You have the liver of a man who drank much less than you." Which in my head, I'm like, I should start drinking again then.
Gus
Yeah.
went through the same thing.
Yeah. And then so this was 2 days ago. The day that happened, this kid sent me an email wanting me to do something. That sounded weird. It was not pornography or pedophilia or anything. It was something work related.
Nobody went there.
But he was like, "We met, and I have proof. Here's a photo of you and I meeting." And it was the day I thought maybe I'll start drinking again. And I saw that photo.
Wow, that's crazy. It doesn't even look like you.
Yeah, and
Like it doesn't
I'm
even
a
look like you in my memory.
fat, bloated, swollen mess. And I thought, oh no, I'm never gonna drink again.
You know, it's funny because the only indication I had of that, because you see somebody every day, it's like you don't really think about
Yeah.
it. And like we actually don't see each other every day, but we cross paths on a regular basis.
It's something that I think is people don't realize about Rooster Teeth. Maybe the new audience, not as much because they haven't been with us this whole time, but people that have been around a long time, there's still the idea that you and Matt and Joel and Gus and I all work together. And I could go weeks without seeing any of you.
And that would be not necessary, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it'd
No,
be
we all
like
do different
coincidence.
things. Yeah. And like I maybe talk to Matt once every 3 weeks. You know,
See, I talk to Matt every day.
dude's
and I talk
busy,
to I talk
and I
to
don't want to bug him.
Gus like once a week on the podcast.
Probably see Gus the most, but just because we use the same bathroom.
Yeah.
I'm not even making a joke. It's just that we both use the same bathroom, so I'll run into him in the hallway sometimes. But
Does he like you don't go out after hours and hang out with him?
with Gus?
I know he just doesn't.
He doesn't do that with anybody.
No, he won't do it. Have you said this is a big?
I went
point
to
of
dinner with you
contention.
2 weeks ago with Sugar Pine 7.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And then we went out for drinks like what, like 4 months ago, 5 months ago, 6 months ago.
We went up for drinks, about 5 months ago.
That's not going to happen anymore, I guess, if you're not drinking.
I'll go watch you drink.
Don't.
They got Diet Coke everywhere.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be one of those people. Like Gus and I had that friend. I always tell the story. Gus and I had that friend who quit drinking, who needed to quit drinking because he had like 112 DUIs. And I ran into him one time, and he was like, "Hey, you still drinking?" And I was like, "Yeah, are you still not drinking?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm happiest I've ever been. I don't miss it at all." And I was like, "Okay, that's a weird thing to lead with, but sure, yeah." And he goes, "What are you drinking?" And I go, "I don't know, whatever." And he's like, "When was the last time you drank?" And I thought he was like intervention type thing.
Yeah.
And I go,
I was preaching at you.
"I drank last night." And he goes, "What'd you have?" And I go,
Oh boy.
"Vodka tonics." And he goes, Did you put lemon or lime in that?" And I was like, "Oh, this is porn to him."
Wow.
And I was like, "Lime." And he's
Yeah.
like, "What brand?" And I was like, "I don't know, Tito's." And he's like, "Oh yeah, Tito's." And I was like, "All right, get out of this conversation. I'm not going to be that person. I'm not going to be the person who like I go to bars all the time."
Listen, I think if my friends have a problem, I'm pretty straightforward, and I will talk to people about stuff.
Sure.
I really will. And I never thought of you as having like a drinking problem. I thought you had an identity built around drinking, but it was never a point in time where I thought Geoff's drinking is out of control or anything like that.
It got away from me at the end.
Did it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did a very good job of not. I think I did it. You always probably think you do a better job than you do. And
Sure,
maybe it's
bud.
a function of you and I not seeing each other that much, but it got away from me the last couple months to the point where I realized it was an issue, and then so I stopped. And now, I guess I did because I had to, but it was pretty fucking easy to stop. So I don't know. I just had to make up my mind to quit,
And
then
just
I
buckle
quit,
down?
and then I just did it.
That's how long it's been.
5 months.
5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a long time.
I used to count the days, but it got to the point where I realized I was counting the days just to count the days to like say a number, and the number didn't really mean anything, like 109 days or whatever, and I just decided to drop that.
Yeah.
But it was in about 5 months,
Well, I want to be clear too. It's like not everybody can do that.
and I lost 36 pounds doing it.
Yeah, you don't look like that photo. That's for
No,
sure. I remember when I thought about it and I noticed it was we were looking at a video of someone we've known for years, and you referred to them as all bloated and crazy, and I laughed and I was like, yeah, he's in pretty bad shape. And then I looked at you and I thought, God, Geoff's looking a little
bloated.
Yeah, he's looking a little,
Gus, I had a moment where Gus looked better than me. and I thought,
Don't do it. Yeah, that's terrible.
fuck me. Yeah, that was rough. So I fixed it.
You can't live with that.
And now he looks like shit, and I look fine.
Well, I wouldn't use the word addicted for you, but
Okay.
addiction is something that I've come up against in my life. Like I have family members that have been addicted to alcohol, I feel, and I've watched how it affects their lives. But I'm also like, I have a weird guilt associated with it because I don't feel like I have that. Like I'll drink a beer here on the podcast, or I'll get fucking hammered, but then I won't go back and drink the next day. In fact, I probably won't. I can't make myself do that. And I won't drink for like a month or anything like that. And I have like one drinking session a year pretty much. And I'm always like horrified by it afterwards.
I like stuff to excess, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
No, yeah, I know.
Candy or video games or beer or
All in.
whatever, all in.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't have any desire to drink that beer right now. So it's not hard not to drink it. And it's not hard to be next to it. But if I drank that one beer, I would have to drink the next 15 beers.
Yeah.
Just once you start, I just can't. It's like opening up a box of, like, Laffy Taffy. It's the whole box is going to get eaten.
No, yeah. If I open a box of
Like you
cereal,
and Fig Newtons.
I go
Like,
straight to the bottom of a box of cereal.
Yeah.
I'll go all the way through it.
So it's better just not to open the box.
Is it better not? Exactly. So I tell it to Ashley, it's like, I can make the best decisions in the world in the grocery store. Or like when I'm ordering food, I only have to go, I want the salad. I'll have to do that once for 5 seconds, and then I'm stuck with a fucking salad. If I put it in my house, like she'll get like a jug of candy and she'll eat a piece of candy out of it or something, or a thing of cookies. She'll eat one of them out every fucking 3 weeks. And I'm like, if that's in the house, I'm going to eat it in 10 minutes. Period.
Yeah.
If it's sitting there, I'm just going to like grab one at a time slowly over the course of a day.
Yeah, the same. I've moved to like snacking, because you got to snack. So I just buy nectarines because I like nectarines, and they're like 30 calories a nectarine.
Yeah.
And I know I can't eat one. I'm going to eat like 4. And by the time you've ingested 4 nectarines, you're fucking full, and you're like, oh, 120 calories. I don't know. It's just what I eat. Nectarines and plums.
So and now you're like
candy.
Now you're like you have so much time in the day. That's something I've heard you say a couple different times.
Oh.
So what do you do?
There are so many hours in the day that weren't before. I read a lot, you know. It was nice because having an all-in personality, now I just read for 3 or 4 hours a day. Dude. I do to an unhealthy amount, but there's no such thing as unhealthy reading. So I read a shitload. I play a lot of Rainbow Six.
She probably reads a book a week.
Yeah, I read a book to 3 weeks.
You play Rainbow Six Siege?
Mm-hmm.
Are you not playing Battlegrounds? We talk about Battlegrounds way too much on the podcast.
No, I don't play PC games.
Oh, really?
I don't even own a PC at home, and I don't own I have an old Mac desktop that just collects dust. Like I'm actually at a point. I was talking about this with somebody the other day. I'm like, I need a computer 10% of the time, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, I could just get by with an
recording.
iPhone. Well, I mean, at work you need as a tool, but in my personal life, I don't. I have my laptop because I have my laptop. I don't need it. I do almost everything on my phone.
I noticed also that you have made a huge departure from social media, which I totally get.
Yeah,
yeah, because I'm kind of in that same boat. You know, Twitter I like because it's writing. You know what I mean? And honestly, it's probably like I probably shouldn't do it because it scratches that itch of writing. And if I didn't do it, I probably would be like writing a lot more every day.
It feels like work to me.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
And I kind of like. I guess maybe peel back the curtain a little bit, but like I've learned because we produce so much content at such a high rate, you know, we're literally talking about 10 to 20 hours a week of unedited recording through Let's Plays or podcasts or whatever, at least for Achievement Hunter.
Yeah.
That I save everything for that. When I leave here, I don't talk. I go and I sit and I read, or I don't even go out. I'm kind of a hermit. I don't go out with people a lot. I will go out to, like, I went out the other night with Sugar Pine because I wanted to talk about some stuff with them and they were in town. But I go to the movies by myself a lot now. With the exception of my daughter, my daughter's been out of town all summer.
Yeah.
With the exception of my kid.
Kids make it totally different too, yeah.
I'm just quiet. I live a very quiet life because I know I'm going to get up tomorrow and I'm going to talk for 6 straight hours. And you just save all the energy for that.
It's so funny. The way you're describing it is exactly, we're both Howard Stern fans.
Yeah.
He says the same thing.
It's a lot like that.
He would say we go stare at a wall.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what he would do. Just go stare at a wall.
He leaves the show and he goes and he takes a nap. And then he gets up and he listens to anything people want to say to him. And then he goes home and he watches TV and goes to bed. And it's very quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very similar.
Yeah.
Very, very similar.
What do you think about, we haven't talked about that. What do you think about Stern doing like America's Got Talent and all that stuff?
I think that dude desperately wanted to be a game show host his entire... I mean, I've been listening since 1996, and it's been a common thread the entire time. And that was his attempt and chance at doing that. And I think he enjoyed it as much as he can allow himself to enjoy anything for about a year. And then he obligated himself to doing it for longer. And then eventually he allowed himself to quit.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was probably pretty miserable the majority of the time he did it.
Man, that game... I want to come back around.
He scratched that itch.
The game show thing. Would you ever do anything like that game show?
Well, like a Drew Carey Price is Right type thing?
Well, we just went out to L.A., and I wanted to actually talk about Twitter for a second more, but we went out to L.A., and when I was out there, it came up that the last taping of At Midnight was happening. 600 episodes in 4 years. But before I talk about that, I do want to talk about Twitter, since we were on that topic. One of your guys, Larry, had a hugely viral tweet, and I had a viral...
Shifty.
Yeah, why Shifty Larry? What is that?
Everybody's got to have a nickname.
They got to have.
I didn't name them.
The nicknames, but I was looking because I had a viral tweet last week about the Emoji Movie.
Yeah,
went nuts, went everywhere, and it's like people keep linking it back to me. And then I thought, what is this fucking analytics? I want to see analytics on Twitter, and I looked at it, and the tweet was seen by 2 million people. It was retweeted something like 18,000 times. I think Larry's was retweeted 450,000 times.
You talking about his Trump thing?
His Trump thing, yeah. So my tweet was like 15,000 times it was retweeted. Like something like 30,000 people clicked on my profile. These are all standard things that shows you. Down, 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 down. Number of people that followed me because of the tweet, 18 people.
Yeah.
It's like if you have something that gets 45,000, 50,000 likes. That's impossible.
Yeah.
2 million people watch it. It's like you can't build anything on Twitter. So it's just like it was proven there's just noise. And I asked Larry, I said, can you send me that same page to me from your thing? Because his thing was way bigger. His total impressions on that Trump tweet were 35,753,000.
Think about that for a second. That is 10% of America.
That's a good point. Yeah.
More than 10% of our country. It's like 12.5% of America.
And he had 785,000 people clicked on the details of the tweet. 545,000 people tweeted or clicked on his profile and went to his profile from it. He got 405,000 retweets on it, 157,000 likes. He got 130 follows from that.
Isn't that insane?
It's like, it just goes to me, it shows everyone thinks viral is so important. It's not all important.
It's not. I totally agree with you. And also, like, I just, funny you bring that up because I just read yesterday that Twitter lost users month over month for the first time in, I don't know how long. I didn't read that part of the article. But they went from, this is just in the U.S., so I don't know what their global active user base is, but their active user base went from 70 million to 68 million month over month from, I think, June to July or July to August. I think June to July. What month is this now?
This is July.
Okay.
We're not just
yeah, June to July.
Yeah.
And which is crazy to me that a social platform as big as Twitter can lose. It's an appreciable amount.
Yeah.
2 million people. But also, like, you talk about this, 35 million people saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 68 million users in America. So, like, I mean, obviously it was seen by more countries than America, but that's half of the Twitter population in America.
It's pretty nuts.
It's fucking nuts. And he got 115 or 150 followers from it?
Yeah, 130.
Yeah, social media is stupid.
130. It's stupid.
That being said, I love when brand deals.
No, but I do think one of the things that's good about it is I think there's a pivot, and a lot of people are doing it, where they use social media to have actual, like, physical meetings with people, like, you know, business, things like that. People build relationships, stuff like that. And I think I'm glad to see people pivoting back to that as opposed to just, like, trying to, like, have so many subscribers or followers on Instagram or that kind of shit, you know? Yeah. I'm glad it's looping back around.
It amazes me how much self-worth people derive from those numbers, too.
Dude.
That measuring stick.
Or the flip side of that, where they just feel bad about themselves or something like that. Yeah. It's
people get so wrapped up in it.
And it's crazy to me for people who don't, like, do this. Like, I mean, I have friends, I'm sure you have friends in your personal life that don't, like, they don't have any social media stuff at all. They Facebook.
Yeah. I have a lot of friends that have, or not even that.
Yeah. And they're just like, then they see this and they see the big numbers, or they have a totally normal amount of Twitter followers. And then it, like, changes my relationship with them. It's like, this is just so fucking stupid. It's so stupid. It's just a place to make, like, one-liner jokes is all it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now midnight's gone, so Twitter's a little bit stupider even, you know? Well, you'll have to see the last episode, but Chris had a, see the last episode.
I don't know that dude. I met him, like, once in the office. He seems like a nice guy.
Sober 14 years, Geoff?
Yeah, Bruce was telling me when I was on tour, I had quit pretty recently, and Bruce was telling me that, like, Hardwick had I don't know his personal story, but it sounded like he had a real problem with drinking, and like, talked about how much happier the guy is, and he was like, you should talk to him sometime because he'll tell you how much better life is without alcohol if you ever, like, get that moment where you feel like you need to go back, which I haven't yet, but, you know.
Yeah, he's, like, literally, like, one of the nicest guys ever. You know, it can sometimes be frustrating because there's people you meet and you're like, this person legitimately could be an asshole, and that would be totally normal, and then they're not. They're just super nice, and he is, like, the epitome of that. And I also think too, it's like, you know, he should be like a beacon of hope for people who struggle with addiction, because he's pretty open about the fact that he stopped drinking 14 years ago. And you can do the same thing. You look at pictures of, like, you know, Chris Hardwick, you know, drunk, you know, or something like that. You see pictures of what he looked like back then. Looks entirely different than he does now. 14 years later, you know, he looks like $1 million. Has a show on NBC and everything else. So.
Look at fucking Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, man.
Like, that guy's frozen in time now because he's healthy.
Yeah.
He's in his 50s and he's fucking Iron Man.
It's weird, right?
It's annoying.
Yeah. He also got, like, I think, like, $250,000 because nobody wanted to employ him for the first Iron Man. Even though Jon Favreau was like, this is brilliant, that he's a brilliant choice for it. He got, like, next to nothing, but then that opened the door to the fact that they had to renegotiate a contract with him, and he's like, I want 40% of every Avengers movie from now on. It's also the reason why Iron Man appears in every fucking movie they make from the Marvel franchise.
Did you like Spider-Man?
I did. I did.
I feel like there's a caveat.
No, I did. I feel like you're going to say you didn't.
I thought it was phenomenal.
I thought Tom Holland was the best Spider-Man I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I thought it was the first time. I didn't realize that they'd never hit the tone perfectly until I saw that movie.
You know what it was to me?
It's a kid's movie.
Difference between Spider-Man and Spidey. And he's Spidey.
He's Spidey. You're right. Yeah, that's a good way to
the wise
preface it.
cracking, jumping around. It's. I really liked it a lot. I thought it was great.
Tonally, that movie was perfect.
I'm always amazed though that like the villains they like draw out, because Spider-Man in particular are some of the worst fucking villains. So, like, because it's all from the 50s and 60s, like Mephisto.
He's not like Iron Man bad, but he's pretty bad.
Well, Iron Man suffers from the problem that a lot of Marvel stuff does, which is like, here's the hero, let's just make the evil version of the hero. That's it. It's like Ant-Man. We were talking about a guy last week on the podcast, and he does these great like short little videos about like JRPGs and stuff, and it's like even he was calling that out of like the Marvel videos.
You watch a dude that makes JRPG videos?
No, it's really, you got to see it.
It's been too long since we've hung out.
I know. You'll see this guy's. I'll show you the videos. You'll fucking laugh. You'll fucking laugh about it. But we went down to this thing. I want to, Ellie. I want to yell at you for a second. Not yell at you. I want to have an employee review discussion.
Oh, what? Live?
So
You're British?
Huh?
So part of the problem with the whole Jack thing, which we talked about earlier, this is a phenomenon that we've noticed at Rooster Teeth, which is like, we all had / job titles. Yeah. Then we hire someone to do something specific, like just that thing, like social media with Barbra, for instance. They immediately make it worse. Like there's some calamity that happens as soon as we put that person in that position.
True. I love Barbra, salt of the earth. But
you're gonna look at this face she's making at me.
I'm like, what is the relation to that? What have I made worse?
Never miss planes ever. So the first time I get an assistant that we travel together, she missed a plane because she had to check a bag. Wasn't that the first time?
It wasn't the first time we traveled together. It was like the second time.
Second time, and she missed the plane. I had to leave her in LAX. Had that moment where she wasn't going to make the flight because she had to check her bag and she was past time. And I'm just standing there with my carry-on, and I'm like,
you were like, well, I'm executive platinum and I need to go, so I'll see you in Austin.
How dare you?
That is exactly what you said.
I said I'm going to see my kids. I can't miss my flight because I'm going to see the kids. I
bet the executive platinum came out.
I'm like, Gavin, how dare you?
It did.
How dare you?
It did.
All right, Posh Spice,
but I
hold
was
on
like,
a second.
Fair.
So then she books.
I have fucked up and I shall stay.
Also got fired from her last job.
Dude, did you?
She worked at a coffee shop.
I tried to quit and I was very graciously fired is what happened. And I didn't really realize until I got home.
I can't understand anything you're saying.
I gave in my 2 weeks and they were like, you know what, you can just leave. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you.
You'll appreciate this. We told this story in the podcast last week, but she had to do these, like, they give her, it was one of these artisanal coffee shops. Mm-hmm. And so she had to taste all the blends, like the Ethiopian blend. Yeah. And then she had to fill out a form like, oh, it has notes of whatever.
Bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. So she wrote every time coffee on here, all the forms, like, she's like, tastes like coffee, undertones of coffee. And that was it. So they're like, get the fuck out of here.
They didn't like it.
So she came to work here. And then starts missing plates. So you booked this. She booked this. I don't even know what it was. We were staying at it was like Bob Newhart's Inn, but like a modern hipster version of that. It wasn't even a hotel. It was just a house. We had a code to unlock the door. Then you were in a common area. And
what was it called?
It was called Noon on Sunset Hill.
Noon on Sunset. Yeah.
That sounds like trash.
Wow.
Dude, you should see like the alley. I mean, we had to.
How much was it a night?
Like 170.
Oh yeah. In LA?
Yeah.
LA.
That's a what do they call those things?
Hostel.
Hostel, yeah.
No,
hostel.
it was.
That's exactly what the kind of stuff she likes booking too. It's
No!
crazy. Yes.
This is so unfair. I sent this to you and was like, how does this look? This looks all right. And you said, yeah, that looks great.
Pictures are always deceiving. Like when you look at real estate, Geoff was going to buy a house in a place called Marfa. Remember? And I was like, he said, this house looks amazing. And it was like dirt cheap.
It did look amazing.
It looked amazing. And I thought, I'm going to help him out. So I went to Google Maps and did a street view of it. And it was like a junkyard.
Turned the corner and there was a junkyard and a trailer park.
And he was like, like Geoff said, he goes all in on stuff. So I think you were ready to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Like
I spent like 3 hours on it. That's why I was ready to buy that.
Deal of a lifetime. And then this fucking place, it's so fucking hot now. I don't know what's going on. Even LA's hot. They had the thermostat for this hostel little
that was really
hubble house
obnoxious.
that locked in a little box. You could see it, and they had set it to 78 degrees. So I was like, I'm not fucking going back to this place ever.
It was
in a
this
million
clear
years.
box so you could see through and like the buttons you would have to press, but there was no way that you tried though. You had you got coffee sticks and you were
I got a little swizzle stick and was trying to like
through
shimmy it.
What is it with the Al Gore's global warming, right?
Yeah, what about it?
I was just in Oregon because that's where the family is.
Oh, yeah.
So I've been going to Oregon every weekend for the past 5 weeks.
Oh, have you really? It's like 105 degrees there.
It was 107 degrees last Wednesday.
Wow, dude.
It was 96 degrees here.
Yeah, that's
It was
fucked up.
107 degrees in fucking Oregon.
Where can you go? I mean, what do you do?
Svalbard, Norway.
Yeah, right?
It's the only place you can go.
I was talking with, I went to go shoot a video with Hannah Hart, and we were talking about, do you just want to like buy land in the Yukon? Like, I'm sure people are way ahead of the curve on that.
Yeah.
It's like, are you going to, and also it's like, if we buy land in the only livable place in the world, when that goes wrong, you're not going to go, excuse me, I live here.
Yeah.
This is I own
You'll
this
just-
land, stay away.
You'll be bullet food.
Yeah, dying people.
Yeah.
But so because she worked in a coffee shop, Ellie always gets like the most pretentious coffee, which I appreciate because it's good. It's
You
always
do.
good coffee. But she went into a place this morning before
Oh
we
my
left
gosh.
from LA. I was in LA this morning.
You were in LA this
I woke
morning.
up this morning, yeah, in LA.
You
was
took
like
the
6 in
like
the
the 8 a.m.
morning.
flight or whatever?
Yep.
I don't know that game.
The 2 hours.
Yeah.
I want to tell you about the guy and the flight attendant was having a bad day. Talk about people who hate their jobs. But what was the comment the guy said to you?
It was like 6 in the morning, and so I wasn't prepared. And he was like, I really like the interpretation of your outfit. And I was like, what? And he was like, it's like a commentary on denim.
That's
guy
what
had,
he had keys for earrings.
He had house keys as earrings. And like,
I like
was
the
just like-
interpretation of your outfit. It's
I was
like a
holding these
commentary on
two
denim.
coffees. I
Denim.
just turned around and was like, what? And I think he expected me to be like, oh yeah, thanks so much. Thanks for noticing. Yeah.
trying to Americanize her. You should be like, fuck off. Call the cops on the guy.
The
next time.
interpretation of your outfit.
It's a commentary on denim.
All right.
That was it. So I'd say
I should have been
overall,
like,
how's the
more
coffee?
abstract
C
than that.
plus on the trip. C plus. I would
If
say.
it makes you feel any better, I was the first person to book travel at Rooster Teeth, and I got fired from booking travel because I booked Gus and Bernie into apparently like a crack den.
Oh, that is true. It was like Sarajevo.
Yeah,
where we were.
in Toronto maybe
Yeah.
or Vancouver.
So that's
and
my
they came
flaw.
back all pissed off.
That's my flaw.
But I was told keep it cheap, so I kept it cheap. It was
I was told keep it like bougie and interesting. So that's what I went for.
bougie.
Have I ever used the word bougie?
It
Is
sounds
that-
like Bernie.
Yeah.
I'd like you to book me a place in LA, and I'd like it to be bougie and or interesting.
It's one of my filters on Airbnb. I want bougie.
Yeah.
Overall, pretty good. We had to go to the last taping of At Midnight, though, which was cool because
Who was on it?
Colton, Hannah, Grace Helbig.
Colton Dunn?
Yeah, Colton Dunn. He's been on a bunch. He had one of the best jokes tonight. I'll let you watch the episode, though. I keep forgetting it's like it hasn't aired yet. Tom Holland. Not Tom Holland. What's his name? The guy from Reno 9/11. He's one of the producers of it.
Thomas.
I got Tom Holland. I got Spider-Man on the brain.
Yeah, I could have told you otherwise.
I know, right? Sorry
Thomas
about
Lennon.
There you go. That's him.
Yeah.
And yeah, like a bunch of other people.
He seems like a guy I would like.
Emo
He seems
Phillips?
like a cool guy.
I don't want to ruin
Emo Phillips?
I feel like I'm giving away stuff.
Like
Weird
90s
Al.
comedian Emo Phillips?
Yeah. There was just like there was people. It was the end, so a lot of people came out for it. And then the audience was all like friends and family as well.
Weird Al, huh?
Yeah.
I found myself at a party not so long ago, and he was there, and I found out I don't have anything to say to Weird Al. I saw him, and I thought, I'm gonna let him be. I got nothing. He seems like a nice guy,
Yeah.
but I got and be like, okay,
Gavin and I did a sports.
you're you,
sketch
and
with him. Yeah.
yeah, I remember because
Just
Gavin
nice.
didn't know who he was.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Didn't
was
keep
very-
taking
very
a selfie.
Gavin. Yeah, sure.
Still took the fucking selfie.
Yeah,
Fucking Gavin, his Facebook account.
I heard you're famous. Can I have a photo with you?
Want to make my friends back home jealous. Hey, so good. It was okay.
It was great.
Yeah, it was
Apart
okay.
from the clap.
What's that?
That guy's clap next to me is
She sat next to somebody who had like a sonic boom of a clap.
every
So-
single time it went through my one ear and out the other, and it was really very
I
distracting.
bet you were super British and polite about it, though.
I didn't say anything. Yeah.
There
I
you
was
go.
just like internally like, why?
she crosses over. She's like a little bit bulldogish, but then also will be like super British and like proper and won't say anything. Like people trying to cut in front of us in line today. She was giving them the side eye. But
Yeah.
then when she's on the phone with somebody and they tell her like we had a dinner for RTX and they try to cancel the day of.
Yeah, when they told me that it was for the next day. They booked it for the wrong day.
She's fucking hammered on them.
They called me on the day it was and was like, just everything's set for your dinner tomorrow. And I was like, I beg your pardon? And then I like went through and sent them every email that they'd sent to me. And I was like,
That
"You will."
is rough.
They were like, oh, I'm sorry, but we've booked it out for someone else. And I was like, that's not my problem.
Damn.
So she said, "Fuck off."
Was that the tone you used too?
Yeah.
Wait, we discovered what the most British phrase of all time is. Like when someone says, I'll try to fix this for you. And the response is, yes, I suppose you better had. So
Yes, I think you better have.
the English accent goes a long way. Okay, thank you, Ellie.
You're welcome.
British.
Totally
I don't
British.
think I'd ever spoken to her before.
Always was.
Yeah.
I think he's just a big ruse. She's probably from New Jersey.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell
working.
us that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so the trip out there was fun. You know, it was
You got just for at the midnight, or did you do other stuff?
no, I was like had some meetings and stuff, and then Hannah wanted to shoot a video, and then when we were shooting a video together, I noticed like the lights were out in her studio, so then I came back the next day and changed all her light bulbs out because she's short, and then from there it was like learned that the at midnight screening was that night, and like just
Do you find
texted.
when you go out to LA for meetings, because I do the same quite a bit, that on the way home you're like, I probably could have just FaceTimed that one. I got on a plane though.
No, my problem was I moved out to LA. I was there for 2 months,
Oh yeah,
and
you're like downtown, right?
yeah, I thought, hey, I'm gonna really focus on like writing. I'll be by myself and all this stuff, and I'm really gonna do this. And I had some projects I was working on like that are more business related. But man, I just like I couldn't get anything done because I didn't realize I'd built up this backlog of professional meetings and like personal meetups that like just had a backlog built up. For the first 2 weeks, it was like breakfast, lunch, drinks, dinner. Yeah, done. And it's just like I gained 10 pounds going out to LA for 2 months.
You wear it well.
Thanks, buddy. And yeah, it just kept me busy the whole time. So I was like, fuck this. I got to get out of here.
So I was actually having a conversation with Harley Morgenstein.
Morgenstein, yeah,
Right,
yeah.
I don't say his last name.
Harley of Epic Mealtime.
Yeah, and last year sometime, like we were at an event together, and we were talking. He lives in he moved back to Canada from LA. I don't know if he's still in Canada, but this is last year's news. And I was asking him, I was like, why'd you leave LA? You were there for a while, right? He was like, I was there for 3 years. And I was like, well, why'd you decide to leave? And he goes, I wanted to get work done.
Yeah.
He was like, I want to make content. And I was like, you just can't do it there.
Nope.
Yeah.
Also, it's like I like it, you know, but I like the people. I don't like the place. Like, I turned around and really liked LA, but then it's just like this last time we were there was like fucking muggy, dude. It was so like sweaty and just like
I can take it or leave it. It's whatever.
it is what it is, right?
It's like there's douchey restaurants there. There's douchey restaurants here. There's interpretive coffee there. There's interpretive coffee everywhere.
there's a barista who tells you,
The best thing about LA is that it's a direct flight and it's 2.5 hours.
yeah.
That's the best thing I can say about LA is it's easy to get in and out of.
I get why people live there. I mean, I get why
I
we
know.
didn't for years, you
Yeah.
know, but it's like it is super easy to get up, you know, opportunities and like, you know, a lot of stuff that gets done in the entertainment industry doesn't happen in a conference room.
Sure.
You know, or you're not interviewing for a position, you know what I mean? Even auditions, it's like a lot of that stuff you just like you meet people. The problem with that is I find is that when you want to have a normal social interaction, there are people who are never off the clock. They're
Yeah.
always working, you know what I mean? And
I would say that's the whole fucking city.
it's not, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I get that impression a lot.
Yeah. It does kind of wear you down a little bit. But I like having an assistant. You had an assistant long before I did. So I remember I talked to you and said, was this a good idea to get an assistant? So, but you have a personal, like, I don't know, is assistant the right word? Nanny the right word? I don't know.
It's like family fixer
There you go.
person. Yeah.
General.
Yeah. You're talking about Chelsea.
Yeah.
She makes the world a better place for sure. I don't feel like
The chairs are terrible.
it makes me look. I'm not fat.
You're
I feel
not.
like it makes me look
You look
fat.
great, dude.
Super skinny.
You look great.
What's going on here?
You want to go back to the off-topic set? Would that make you feel more comfortable?
Yeah, I feel better sitting in a bar, not drinking.
So what is the deal? So you've been making fun of me for having a vlog. Every time I've seen you, just about you've
Sure.
made fun of me for having a vlog.
I'm
But
gonna make fun of you for everything.
you have an unboxing show now.
Okay.
Always an unboxing show. And I should have seen it coming because you guys posted that you had a PO box, and I go, I know where this is going. They're gonna be accepting gifts and they're gonna be unboxing. So how long before you have private chats for like $2.99 a minute where you're topless? Is that coming?
I think Jeremy's already doing that.
Is he doing it?
Yeah.
Is that what they do on Twitch?
Yeah, he's if you go to baldfucks.com, you get the first 15 minutes for free if you just enter in keyword Rooster Teeth. It's true, I guess. I mean, it certainly wasn't conceived as that, but that's just kind of what it's turned into because people send so much stuff. It's been great though, because A, everybody likes to open up presents, but B, it's like here you just open up it and it's like, here's a bounce castle. It's like, oh great, that's 3 videos we can make out of
Got a
that.
fucking bounce castle?
You haven't been in our office lately, have you?
No.
Yeah.
I poked my head in today.
Yeah.
We have a bounce castle?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking bad. It must be huge.
Yeah.
Is it really?
It's not super huge. It's big enough.
Wow.
It's not as big as you're thinking.
I just poked my head in and said, hey, hit a gap.
I don't want to spoil anything. So, but I'll tell you about it later. I don't want to spoil anything on air. But no, it's been great for content because, like, yeah, you just get like, here's a grenade launcher for airsoft, and you're like, oh fuck, I can blow up a pumpkin with that or whatever, you know. And then suddenly you have content that you wouldn't have had because somebody in Wisconsin is super creative and funny and thought to send you,
Call it crowdsourcing.
There you go. Crowdsourcing comedy.
That's the new media term for that, crowdsourcing.
Sure.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up here in just a second. If I'm on Twitter. If you guys are on the hashtag RT podcast and you have any questions for Geoff, they know everything about you, though. They have to at this point?
How would they have questions for me?
What else do you want to cover? What do we need?
The question is, when are you going to be on the podcast again? It was today.
That's it?
Yeah, I'll see you in 6 more years.
Jack just has to get fired every 9 years, and then Geoff will come on.
That had nothing to do with
it. Really didn't. It was weird timing.
It was weird timing.
It felt like Trump. You cause a shitstorm. Something gets set up, then you cause a shitstorm, and then have to rectify it.
I'm not going to get super political because I don't want to make the audience happy. The audience loves when I get political. But I don't know if you saw, but Wall Street Journal reported today that Mueller has impaneled a grand jury.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
That doesn't mean anything other than they can subpoena documents, phone records, financial records, those kinds of things. And you can't serve an indictment without a grand jury.
And also,
grand jury doesn't mean indictment, but there's no indictment without a grand jury.
So, and he can always pardon himself, right?
Can always pardon himself.
Researching that and pardon himself.
Yeah. Interesting times, though.
Is it going to be like this forever? Like, let's say Trump doesn't get reelected. He will. But let's say he doesn't.
People should, before you go any further, understand absolutely that none of this means Trump is out of the White House.
No way.
Trump is our president for the next 3 years, 3.5 years, and then he will get reelected.
He will.
It is 8 years. I don't want to speculate on what it would take.
All the hot takes on Twitter won't matter.
Nothing is going to matter. The man is going to be president for 8 years.
Yep.
That's all there is to it. Just resign yourself to it and accept it. And this is what politics in America looks like now. For better or worse, worse.
But even after that, let's say the most it swings back the other way.
Yeah.
Ultra liberal president. That person is going to be just constantly attacked the entire time they're in office as well. Right?
No, this is what discourse looks like now. For the foreseeable future.
What do you think it is? Do you think it's social media that's doing that?
Yeah.
I think it is too.
I do. I think it's unfortunately Andy Warhol's vision realized to the nth degree.
Yeah.
It's just it's the thing that makes the ability for us to have the career that we have, right?
Right.
Is that we were able to have a platform, and we recognized it very early on. We were very fortunate, but I think also forward-thinking enough to latch on and to realize that we could create our own platform and get it to eyeballs in a way that was never possible before without going through traditional media. And the thing that enabled us to do that enables everybody in the world to have a voice, for worse. For better and for worse.
And they have to cut through the noise. And they have to cut through
a tremendous amount of white noise. Mm-hmm. And the only way to cut through noise is to be sensational and seek negative attention.
That's right.
And that's where we are.
Even if it's negative attention that you agree with, you're politically aligned with those people, they still have to go to extremes in order to get noticed.
It's true. It's a shame, and it works. And I don't know how an entire society course corrects for that. I don't think you can.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think this is just, I really don't know what it would take to, aside from, sadly, some sort of a terrible tragedy that would, or catastrophe. I don't know how you pull back from where we are.
Yeah.
The world is a very small place. You can touch anybody in the world via the internet at any time, and there's no filter, and this is what it looks like.
Yeah.
And it's only going to amp up.
And you start using it at such an early age. One of the things I'm so happy about is my kids are it's almost like a religious family where the one generation is super religious, so the next generation is not at all, or politically they tend to go back and forth. It's because social media is such an important part of the Ashley and Bernie layer that the kids are just they don't want anything to do with it.
My family is not like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you never know, right? It's I appreciate the fact that they're flipped the other way. But also, it's important that they know how to use it as well.
Well, you don't want to. It's important they know how to use it because they don't want to be so out of touch that they can't adapt to the changing climate and the way the world works. But it is great that they're not obsessed with it because it's unhealthy.
No, I think it is. I think it is, and it's one of the going back to the addiction talk. It's man, if I wouldn't want to see how many times I check my phone in a day. I just wouldn't want to see it because I just do it without thinking.
I didn't have my phone today for 2.5 hours because I had to get my screen fixed. So I dropped it off and then I had to race back to film a video. And then I had like a lunch meeting and then I had to race over to get it. And I was fucking lost for 2.5 hours without my phone. I just felt so out of, like, I didn't know how to contact people. I thought, what if I'm late for this meeting?
Right.
How will I let them know? I can't, like, I needed to meet up with Lewis and I didn't know how to contact him. So I had to ask Trevor to contact him for me to let him know I was coming. It's like,
Yeah, it's really weird. And it's one of those things where you feel it every second that you don't have it, but then you also get used to not having it when you don't. Like, I had to give up my phone for a month.
I remember when you were on the Amazing Race.
I mean, it was just like, after a while, I just like, didn't think about it. And when I got it back, I was like, all right, I'm going to be way more measured about how much I use this thing. I use a little bit. Nah,
bullshit.
Man, right
That's how I am with
It's almost like it's like the human brain designed something that works exactly, rewards itself. So it's like, it's this thing, it's constantly just like picking up information, little like dopamine hits constantly all the time, you know?
It is. That's why I can't. I have no time for social media because I don't want to get sucked into it.
Yeah.
It becomes so all encompassing. I know me. It would not be good.
As long as you also don't consider YouTube or video content to be social media, which it's on the fringe, right?
It's on the fringe, but I'm generating content that I'm getting paid to make, and that and it is a part of my career.
You're fucking sellout.
And what's that?
Sellout.
I am such a sellout. And happy to be so. But and then like I treat comments. I think all people should treat them this way. Content producers, like, it's good to go in and look at the comments as soon as you put a video out to make sure that there's nothing technically wrong. You get a good snapshot go in every once in a while to get a snapshot of like what the general tone is without going too deep into it. You look at likes and dislikes. You look at views. People vote with their eyeballs, and you don't go much deeper than that.
Yeah. I mean, there's some stuff too. It's like we could talk about this on the post show because we have to do a post show. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that's
like 10, 15 minutes. But I was going to talk to you about like the structure of our channels and everything like that. It's like there's some things I like, but it really is mainly come down to that. Like, do people watch it or don't? Like, a lot of times in the podcast, like, oh, I like the cast when they change it up, and the comments are dominated by that. But it's like those have less views. You know what I mean? It's like there are some metrics that like supersede other ones. You know?
Yeah, for sure. And it's like, and people get upset about it, but like. This week, I mentioned that Gavin and Jack filmed an episode of Hunt, which is a show we made 4 or 5 years ago.
I read this on the subreddit.
And people were super excited about it. And 8 people were super excited about it. And they're like, yes, the return of Hunt. I've been missing this forever. This is great. I hope they keep making it. And I'm going to tell you right now, we're not going to keep making it because that video is going to come out. Prove me wrong. It's going to get 140 to 180,000 views. Right. And we're not going to make it because the amount of effort that goes into continuing to make it. So that the majority of the audience doesn't want to watch it. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
From a business standpoint, but also from a pleasing the most amount of people that we can sense. Like, people think it's all business, but it's also like we're trying to make people happy here, and people vote with their views. And I get that constantly, like, oh, why did you stop making Go? Why did you stop making Hunt? Why did you stop making X show? It's because people stopped watching it. And we're in the business of making content for people to watch it. Money aside, I want every video I make to get 1 million views.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
You know, like, that's the goal, because that means 1 million people or 500,000 people watched it twice, 1 million people watched it once, whatever. It resonated enough that it resonated with those people to that degree, and that's the best metric for me to determine what people want to watch is what they watch.
And it's weird because I'll say some of this for the post show.
Okay,
like the way we measure things as well. That came up on the subreddit. People wondering, do they measure our response? It's like there's no real way to measure. Right?
No.
But we can talk a little bit about the way that we measure stuff with like YouTube views and then average views and stuff like that. And then something that I just stay conscious of is like I also don't want to make stuff. I don't want to make stuff that contributes to the noise floor. You know what I mean? I just want to make stuff that's compelling, that's interesting, and it's like you just want to make something just because, a handful of people want to watch it. In fact, there was a point in time where it's like, we never say the word canceled, really. Like, stuff goes away but doesn't come back.
We don't cancel stuff.
And the main reason I don't use the word canceled ever is because I think it sticks to a person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I avoid doing that. And when we changed my vlog to a different day, and the fucking views, they went down to like 100,000. I was like, oh, it's gone. And I was going to say, finally I can say a show got canceled because I'm canceling my own show and I'm not worried about how that impacts me. I'm like, I want to cancel it. But then Evan came up to me and said, I know you want to like just cancel it and cut it, but it's like you're going to look at these metrics. And the metrics was, he knew exactly what to show me. He showed me that it was the oldest show on the program, on the channel. Like it was by far the oldest audience watching it. And I was like, that's a reason to keep it around, that kind of thing. But we'll talk about more about that stuff in the post show.
Let's do it.
Because Lord knows we talk about it a ton. Anything else you want to cover in here?
No.
I was going to tell you about my flight attendant who hated his job. He was miserable today.
That sucks.
You remember when we went to Delaware Subs like a billion years ago, and we got a guy who was just having the worst day ever?
The guy yeah, I know the guy. Yeah.
And I said, like, we were getting cheesesteaks because they make good cheesesteaks.
They do make good cheesesteaks.
I forget what it was, but it was something along the lines of, do you want mushrooms and peppers and onions on your thing? I said, yes. And then I go, oh, no, wait, no peppers, just mushrooms and onions. And he just goes, I mean, it was that fast.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he'd made the sandwich. He goes,
I could see him doing it.
and he had to walk. Remember, he walked in a circle and then came back to the counter. I'm like, this guy fucking hates his job.
He's having a day.
And that's the kind of thing. It's like, that's the guy, like, the manager should go, look, dude, don't work here anymore.
Yeah.
You fucking hate this job.
It's like, you're making your life miserable.
I had a flight attendant like that today. You could tell he was like, he was very nice on every individual thing, but he was pissed off the whole time. And like the capper was, he was giving the, hey, we're making our final descent to Austin, put away your tray tables and your large electronics, etc. And as soon as he started to talk, it's hot. So it's fucking massive turbulence and everything's like, I grab my drink and do it. And I look at him and he just goes like this. He just goes with the little intercom thing. He goes, and I thought, dude, it's fucking turbulence. It's like this guy was on edge. Like Geoff, you might appreciate this. I almost asked the guy out for drinks. Like, hey, dude, you just want to go out and get a drink because I know you're like landing in Austin. It's like, just like I know you
blow some steam off.
Yeah, I know you don't know me or anything, but let's go out and fucking talk it out. He just seemed like he was on edge.
That sucks.
But I never get the cool flight attendants who like piss on the drink cart or like pop the emergency slide. I just get the guy who's pissy in the background. Sure. All right, well, that does it. Well, thank you for joining us for this second one-on-one podcast. Thanks to Jeff Ramsey.
Who's next week?
What's that? Next week, what are we going to do? I'm trying to think of someone who's been on the podcast longer than you, and I can't think of anybody. We're going to have Genghis Khan on next week or something like that.
There you go.
Yeah. But, thank you for joining us, and thank you to our sponsors. Nobody. Bye, everybody.
Day 6.